My name's Ashli Owen-Smith, and I am a faculty member in the School of Public Health and co-director for community engagement for Georgia State University Prevention Research Center. I'd like to welcome you all to our monthly Brown Bag workshop. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Prevention Research Centers, PRCs, these are a network of academic research facilities in the U.S. that study how people and their communities can avoid or counter risks for chronic illnesses. And through rigorous research, each center conducts at least one main project with an underserved population that has high rates of disease or disability. An initiative of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, PRCs, are leaders at the scientific forefront of translating and implementing well-tested programs. So the PRC at Georgia State University, headquartered on the Clarkston campus at Perimeter College, works with community organizations, state and local governments, residents, and other partners in Clarkston, Georgia to develop, implement, and evaluate culturally and linguistically appropriate interventions to address the disparities and determinants of health for migrants and refugees, and to disseminate this work at the community, state, and national level. So today, we are going to hear from 4 of our current GSU students about their experiences as former refugees. So to begin, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Mary Helen O'Connor, and my co-director for community engagement for the PRC, Mary Helen O'Connor, who is going to introduce our panelists for today. And then we'll begin with some roundtable questions. Mary Helen.
Thanks, Ashley. I almost forgot that I was going to do that because I've been getting us all hooked up on Zoom. And we have kind of a weird echo in here. So we're all in the same room on campus at Clarkston, safely distanced, but so we can see each other's faces and know what the others are saying and can answer questions in order. But first, I will introduce my student assistant, Ogbai Afeworkie. Ogbai. I've known Ogbai since you were how old? 10 years old, and he is now my student assistant at Georgia State in our front office. Ogbai is from Eritrea originally. He's half Eritrean, half Ethiopian, he likes to say, and we've been good friends for many years, and I'm super proud to have him here today. The next one I'll introduce is Khawla Al Abdullah. I met Khawla 4 years ago. When I received an email from a colleague that she and her mother had just arrived from Syria and needed some extra help. So I knocked on her door with one of my Arabic speaking students and we became fast friends. And she is proudly a freshman at Perimeter College this year and doing exceptionally well. And then the next student I'd like to introduce is Watema Emmanuel. So Watema, Three of these students, Khawla, Watema, and Mohammed, all participated in MENA, our mentoring initiative for new Americans. Watema is our most famous MENA participant. He was tutored for 2 years to gain admission to Georgia State University, and we're so proud that he is. Are you a sophomore yet? Yeah. He's a sophomore studying, what are you studying here? Health sciences, but we're trying to convince him he's going to be a public health major. And then our final participant today is Mohammad Tamer, who has been my able assistant leading our mentoring work with MENA. Mohammad, say hi.
Hello.
And I have not had Mohammad, I've not known him as long as I've known all the other folks on the panel today, but he has become a fast friend and hardworking advocate and colleague in the community, and he remembers you, Ashley, from handing out masks. So even in these distant COVID weird times, we all recognize faces, and I'm just really honored that my students were excited today to share their experience with us.
Great, thank you guys so much. Thanks for the introductions, Mary Helen. So as I mentioned, we have just some preliminary questions to do kind of roundtable, and feel free to make it more of a discussion. We really just want to hear from the four of you and hear about your experiences. So, I think what maybe we could start with is just a special memory that you have from home, so that we can better understand what home, your native country memories and experiences were like. So, Mohammed, why don't we start with you?
Hello. A
So,
special memory that
Mohammed,
I
do you have, yeah.
I have a ton. Right now, the one that comes to mind is when we were in Lebanon a couple of years before we left. So I'm thinking 2006, 2007. So right after all the wars that happened, they had a bunch of leftover scrap tanks and trucks and, all that good stuff. So they made like an outdoor museum of a sorts where they displayed all these things being used and the aftermath of what happens after they're used. And this was big time on the TV. So every kid wanted to be there. And we all thought it was real cool. And I never got to go. So I remember that. I remember not getting to go.
Great.
Everybody just hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my favorite
Thank
memory, not my favorite, well, a memory that stands out to me at this moment is not getting to go to the outdoor museum.
And so have you still not had an opportunity to go?
No, I haven't had an opportunity to go. It's, I believe it's part of my history. Moving to Lebanon at such an early age of 3 months and everything that went on over there. And I never got the opportunity to see the aftermath of all the things that have happened there.
Mm. Is that something that you would want to return to see at some point?
One day I'll be back.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Thank you, Mohammed. That's interesting. Watema, how about you? What do you have a special memory or a memory you'd like to share from home?
Yeah, well, I think the first memory I can remember is I was working 10 miles on foot to go to attend the elementary school. And after that, I can go to beach, to like beach with my friend. And that is a special moment which I really remember every day. And I wish maybe one day I can go there and try to bathe in the water with my friends again.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. And Khawla, what about you? A special memory or a memory you'd like to share?
Yes, of course. So the best thing in the life, the people who you love to stay with you. And the best memory for me back home, when we're like all family around and we stay at the same house, do everything together. The best memory for me, how was my dad take me every day to the school. Actually, I miss this moment every day. I hope he is here in this moment and see how proud he will be with me at this moment to reach to this level. So I miss him so much. That's the best memory for me. I miss my dad. I can't.
My favorite memory is on the last day came to America, we had a big gathering, and all our neighbors and friends were invited, and it was a lot. It was a good time that I remember. Everybody was there.
Sorry, I was muted, you guys. Ogbai, I had a hard time hearing you just now. I don't know, Mary Helen, if you could help with the audio, or if one of you could kind of summarize what you just said, Ogbai. I wanted to make sure that I heard clearly.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear a little better. Go ahead.
My favorite memory was the last day before we came to America. We had the big gathering, and we invited our neighbors, friends, and family, and we danced and ate. That's my favorite memory.
Wonderful. Thank you. I wonder if everyone could share kind of what you thought America would be like, or if you, either you or loved ones, close friends, kind of perspectives about the United States, and kind of whether you found or are finding those to be true or not true. Just interested in your experience kind of this country from your own perspective or friends or family. Let's start maybe with Watema.
Yeah, the first thing which I was thinking in America kind of found very easy or easy to get is like have coverage insurance. And when I came here, I found it also thinking very different from what I was thinking. So
It was very different from what you thought.
yes.
Can you say more about that, Watema? Like in what ways?
Yeah, the way is the insurance, how they give people insurance. You have to work. After working, you're gonna get insurance from work, where the place will you work. Or it's different from my country where I come from. Some insurance is like they give people for the free. In America, it's different from where I came from.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, thank you. And then Mohammed, what about you?
Before we came to the US, we had the classic idea that America is the land of the free, home of the brave. When we came here, we found that it is land of the free, home of the brave. And the main difference that I would say between the US and the countries we've lived in is where there's opportunity, there isn't as many roadblocks that may block you from reaching for that opportunity or achieving what you set out to achieve. There are still roadblocks and inconveniences. However, it is possible, unlike in Lebanon or in Iraq or in Syria, where there's sects of people or certain organizations or certain people that would stop you from achieving what you wanted to achieve. And so it was exactly what we thought it was. A little bit different, but it is what we thought it was.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's certainly the ethos that many people in the United States hold near and dear to their hearts, right? This idea of you know, the American dream, if you dream it, you can do it. And I think sometimes many of us wonder if in fact that is the case.
It's still
you know,
there.
that
It's the case.
it's still there.
It's still there.
Well, I'm glad to hear that it feels that way to you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And then what about you, Khawla?
So actually, before I came here, I was thinking America is very easy life. The people throw away the money in the street, or we can make the money from the trees. So all the immigrants think the same way. I think they think Europe or America or everything like it's not from Middle East, so it's different, and they have an easy life. But when I came to here, so everything different what I thought. So here it's this country is give you a lot of opportunities, but at the same time it's not that easy. You have to work hard to do a lot of stuff here, especially when you came here without any friend or family or even language. So it was hard in the beginning, but now it's better.
Yeah, that makes sense, Khawla. So it sounds like, kind of to follow on Mohammed's comment about, you know, the American dream, that, you know, that's a real experience of many, but it takes a lot of hard work. And it's interesting to hear you say that the kind of perception by others in, for example, your native country is that everything is easy here.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I thought before I came here. I am one of these people, actually.
And then you found out that wasn't in fact the case. It's not so easy.
Not so easy. It's so difficult, but it's still better than to stay with a country with war. Way better.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then what about you, Ogbai?
Yeah, before I got here, I thought like money grew on trees. That's what they told me. So being an 8-year-old, I was like, wow. Yeah. I thought money grew on trees. And as a kid, I was like, wow. You know, they told me money is everywhere in that country. And in a sense, you know, for most people, I thought we think that like America is, you know, like heaven, because you think when you get here, all your problems will go away. Well, you know, some of your problems will go away, but you're not gonna be the same situation as you was in your country. You have different problems, like the languages, you know. You can get money, but those jobs is gonna be like labor, you know. So you have different challenges than you had in your country. But it's a great country. You just always gonna feel like it's not your home, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. That complements what others have mentioned about the perception that that there's, you know, money, like you said, money grows on trees, and that everything would be easy, and kind of learning that so there's great opportunity, that's not exactly the case, right?
Yes.
So what, you know, I'm interested, kind of related to that question from all of you, you know, if you have friends and families still in your native countries, you know, what are the questions they're asking of you about your life here? So just, you know, jump in, you know, rather than me kind of calling on you. If you have friends and family still in your country of origin, what kinds of questions have they asked, or what are the things they want to know about how things are for you here?
Well, some of the most common questions that we get from the few family members that we do stay in touch with is when can we ship out a new phone for them? And that's the most common one, actually. That's every other week. And because, right, they think that money grows on trees. And the second most common question nowadays is if we still have a working government, because they saw what happened at the Capitol and everything. And everybody was calling us because they were all concerned, like, oh, the country has fell, the government has fell. No, that didn't happen. So yeah, those are the two most common questions that we do get nowadays.
Yeah, I think the most question I'm facing with my brothers is asking me every day, how can I renify his kid from home to come in? And I say that is not impossible because of the government policies. It's impossible. So every single day when we talk, he asks me the same question. Do your best. I know you are starting, you can do anything to help me to this kid to come in USA.
So, yeah. So for my family or all my family back home, they asking me every day, oh, if the government give you money and income every month, why you working? Why working? And nobody give us money here actually. So the second thing, what Muhammad said, oh, they always want like a brand new phones like iPhone, and even I don't have this one. So, oh, sent it. It's very cheap over there. You have a lot of money. You're working, and you got money from the government. All the time they asking for money because I think they. I don't tell them like I don't say they are all bad or thinking bad, because when I were there, if I was there, I will think the same way. Oh, easy money to get in America and everything easy, or the government gives us money because we are refugee. So, but they don't believe us. So what I'm gonna say or what I'm gonna do with them, just tell them I have no money. Please stop asking for money. Please stop asking for money for all my family, I'm gonna say. Yeah, so that's what they think about the life in America.
Yeah, and I have my friend in the camp usually asking about when is the immigration will go there for the interview. I say I don't know, and they try to ask what is the new administration coming, their policies about the refugees. I say I don't know, not yet. I don't know. So maybe after maybe 2 months or 3 months, they can start again the process to take people from the camp in the US.
Yeah, like what everyone said, most of our friends and family, they always ask for money. My family, they always ask me for pictures, and they have this concept that everybody in America, in our culture, like when you fat, it's like you're rich, you living. So, when I send them picture, they always be like, "Why you still skinny? What's going on? Aren't you supposed to be fat by this time?" So they have this idea like, we sitting at home, not working. And I'm telling them like, you have to still work. You get money, but you have to work.
Yeah, I don't know where they get the information about this stimulus check. My friend in camp say, hey, Watema, you get money. The government give you money, man. Send me maybe $20. And I said, man, I don't have money yet. I don't know where they get this information. Is it because of social media or?
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so what I've learned thus far is that family and friends back home want phones, money, pictures, and they want you to be fatter. Okay. Good to know. Okay, so we've touched on this a little bit, but I'm curious about kind of what has been, from your perspective or close friends and family, kind of what has been the biggest challenge with being in the United States? I know you guys, Khawla, you mentioned kind of, that it takes a lot of hard work, that there's a lot that you're trying to figure out. I wonder kind of what are the other challenges or what have been kind of the most difficult aspects of being here?
Yeah, for me, I think the most challenging time is the first 6 months you came in the US is challenging because you have to settle how you can manage your time to go to work and the appointment to the hospital and then your kid to school. This is challenging for most people in the USA when they start here. As you know, that they don't use to manage the time to set like an appointment to get people their children to school or to go to the hospital. So it's challenging time for them to set time to make that appointment.
For me, I have to say like translating and opening like my parents' eye because I'm okay, I understand. So like imagine explain to somebody that doesn't know about taxes or car insurance or how to use credit card. And sometimes when I'm trying to translate or somebody's telling me something, they hear one word that I recognize and they say, no, he said this word, she said this word. So it's really difficult trying to explain them, how a credit card works. So I think for me, that's like the biggest challenge, trying to make my parents understand to have healthy diet, to do this, to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think again the most challenge is when you get your dad is not the language, don't speak English. When you get the job and you don't like that job, so sometimes you quit the job. So another challenge to find a new job for him. So that's another challenge.
So the big challenge for me, it was the language. And I came here with my mom only. I have no family or friend. So I work so hard here to get a friend as a family, actually, because it's so hard. The second part, I was less than zero English. So I didn't speak English at all. So all the time I have to use the Google Translate for every single word or every easy or simple word, because I have to communicate with people, actually. So the second part, actually, how to management the time also. I have to work. I never worked back home, so I was only in the school. So when I came to here, that was my first job. Also, I have to learn at the same time and get my GED as well. And I got yeah, when I came here, I was 20 years old. And when you it's very easy to, if you came here as a kid, so it's very easy to learn, but after 20, it's still you can learn, but it's still difficult, especially if you don't know anything about this language or country or culture or anything. So most of the time I was afraid of the people to know them or what they want from me, or how can I understand them, what they want. Or even if most of the American people think I was mean or shy or something like that, because they didn't understand what I mean, or even I cannot talk with them. Also, if I get I want to apply for application for job or for my green card or for a lot of things, I need help. So I need help with everything. I think that's the biggest challenge. I have when I came here. But now I have a lot of friends. I don't need to use the Google Translate anymore. Thanks to God.
Yeah, so it seems like, you know, in addition to language-related difficulties, just navigating all of the systems, right? Like the healthcare system, all the different kinds of paperwork that have to be completed, applications for this and that, just navigating the various systems in the United States. I know, you know, I teach this intro to the US healthcare system course, and I have GSU students who were born in the United States and for whom English is their first language, who have said to me, I don't understand Medicaid and Medicare, and I don't understand the health insurance system. And I said, you know, nobody does. Nobody does. These are really complicated systems, right? So there are those of us who were born and raised here who have trouble navigating these systems often as well. So you're all in good company, but I can appreciate all of those challenges you guys just described. You know, as we kind of think about all of our work with the PRC, you know, just interested in all of your insights about, you know, what if you had kind of all the power in the world, if you were advising President Biden, let's say, in his new administration, you know, what would you recommend doing to help solve the kind of global migration refugee crises around the globe? What insights would, as someone who has had lived experience, what thoughts do you guys have about advice you would give Biden or even some of our international refugee immigrant leaders?
I would tell him to, right now there's like 3 genocides or 2. That being said, Ethiopia is one of them, and like Myanmar, if I'm not. So I would say, like, you know, let the people come, let the people that's going through war to come here, and that's about it. Let them come here and, you know, help them.
Yeah, for me, I think the U.S. president, I think they can work together with the other government to sit down and try to build the peace in the country where the war or the migration started, or to build some infrastructures like mechanism to prevent those immigration to come in one country another country. I can give an example of North Africa, like Morocco. People, they're trying to cross the Mediterranean to come to Europe because of a good living. So I think the government, and they can sit down and try to figure some ways to prevent those people to come to the other side and try to give them the opportunity of what they wanted.
Watema, they asked what age you came, and I didn't mention what country you came from, and did you take any English courses when you were here?
Yes. When I came here, I was 32 years old, and I come from Democratic Republic of Congo.
For 22?
32.
32?
Yes.
And did you take any English ESL classes?
Yeah, I took English.
ESL where?
I think it was in. I have my tutor, like Patrick.
Who was a Georgia State student?
Yes.
Okay, do you guys want to answer? What would you tell President Biden?
So if I have the power, I'm gonna tell him, let the refugee come to here for a couple of reasons. The first reason, refugee help the economy in America. The second reason, you can save a lot of lives. If they if their country in war or something like that, they are unsafe. You can save a lot of lives, a lot of family, a lot of children. Also, the third reason, America is the nation of the immigrant for a long time ago. So, and the fourth reason, I think, if you bring refugee here, they're gonna develop this country. They're gonna working hard. They're gonna be a doctor, engineering, however, make a business. Though that's helped America to be bigger and greater. Actually, also we're not enemies, so we're not gonna do anything bad here. So I think refugee is make America great.
Base actually, Khawla made the point I was trying to make in the brain gain that the U.S. stands to benefit from accepting so many refugees. There's a ton of incredible businessmen, a ton of incredible students, a ton of incredible scholars, creative people, artists that are just unfortunately stuck in dangerous situations. And we need those people to develop our country, not develop it, but further develop it. And if we can get those people and nourish them, and I think the U.S. stands to benefit a lot from that in the near future. And yeah, I think that is the way to go forward into the future, is to find talent, get the talent here, nourish it, and then benefit from it later. And the people that come here, like me, and the U.S. has helped them so much in the future and in the present. We feel a bit of indebtedness to the U.S. and we feel like we owe it something. I'm not sure what it is yet, but we owe the U.S. something.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really like that idea, of course, of, it's the kind of mutual benefits, right? That the country benefits and the individuals that come here benefit. And it certainly seems to me to be a bi-directional relationship. I wonder if you all, on a related point, what advice you would have us as our PRC team in terms of the work that we're doing in Clarkston specifically. What advice do you have for us as we try to support the refugee and immigrant community locally? If you have any insight about that, we would welcome it.
So still on the topic that I just spoke about, if you talk to some of these people in Clarkston, if you go to Thrift Town and just pick somebody out and speak to them, you'll hear some of the most incredible stories. I mean, some of the things I heard in Clarkston living there since 2008. I mean, some of the stuff blows your mind, and these people are still, walking around, and they got families that they're taking care of, and you hear what happened to them last year, and it's like, oh my God, that happened to you, and you're here, and you're talking and smiling with me, and you're making jokes. Just the level of persistence that you see in some of these people, it's incredible. It's truly inspiring. Even being a refugee, I get 100% inspired by a lot of the stories in Clarkston and of the people living there. So people should come here, have a coffee at Refuge, go shop at Thrift Town a little bit, have some spicy treat from the Nepali store, and have a 10-minute walk. You'll enjoy it. We got good weather too, most of the year.
Yeah, I think what I've been seeing, the number one that can help is jobs. Most of these parents or people that I know, that they go on van like for 2 hours to a different job. They are good workers. They work hard for their family. So I would suggest that if there's a way to create a factory that's close to Clarkston, so people don't have to drive that far. So that's my recommendation. And people are not used to like fast pace. So I feel like most of the time when I go to customer service, like they're not that they're not that nice, and they're always on go. And most of our parents, they barely know a word. So I feel like if people are more polite, they take the time, will be beneficial for everyone.
So what I would say actually, when you like want to help someone, it's not only that the way you want to help financially, you can help emotionally. You can stay with these people and hear them, what they're gonna say, what their problems, and what they have to do. So what you ever can do, you can do. You can help like with language. You can help with give them a ride. You can help to teach them how to drive, because most of the people when they came here, they don't know how to drive even. You can help teach them how to do stuff like online or stuff. Anything you can do, it's it's good for them actually.
Yeah, I think my recommendation is you guys, you are doing a good job. And I see how, when we distributed a lot of masks and sanitizers, people were so happy. You know, that time people didn't have money to buy those sanitizers and the masks. So I would recommend you guys don't stop doing that job. That is a good job for our community in Claston. And as you know, a lot of people are so low income people, they don't have the opportunity to buy those stuff like a mask and sanitizers. So I would ask you to not stop that kind of job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Oh, also, um, when planning community events or planning some help for the community, I do highly recommend getting the actual community involved and taking up volunteers, because a ton of us, want to volunteer and want to get experience and want to get involved, but it's not offered to us so much. So I would get the community involved in anything regarding the community.
I just remember, I think we should have a English class, maybe a Saturday or Sunday. That's when most people are.
For their parents.
Yeah, for the parents, for anyone that want to take it.
kind of to follow up a question from someone in our audience related to some of the comments that you all just made in terms of kind of what are some of the needs and how can we help? A couple of questions. One, how can faculty better support refugee students in particular? So kind of in the context of education. And then also, if there was something that you or your family or friends, when they first arrived or when you first arrived in the United States, that you didn't have access to, that you wish you had, that would have made that transition easier. So either or both of those questions, if you'd like to respond.
In terms of faculty, there's a couple of practical things that I think could be done better. That most of them are already being done. But for example, coming when I was in second grade, 2008 in December, a very small thing, but it made a big impact on me nonetheless. Obviously, I just came from over the sea. I'm an outsider, you know it, I know it. And I'm in the class, and the teacher goes split up into groups. And that's it. She just lets us split up into groups. I don't know anybody, and I don't know what these people are talking about, and nobody wants to be in my group. So, take me and put me in a group. Like, why would you let me fend for myself? So that's a very practical thing that I think will help a ton of students. Just take me and put me in the group.
Yeah, that's interesting, Mohammed. That's something I wouldn't have thought very much about. Yeah, thank you. Others?
Um, so actually, this is my first semester. So I'm struggling a lot because I'm new, like freshman student, and I don't know how to use iCollege or something like that. Or I ask a lot of a question about my teacher, and also I sent them an email to explain my situation. I told them, oh, I've been here for years, and I learn English, and that's all my situation. And they said, okay, we understand, but you have to be more patient. Actually, what I'm gonna say, please, they have to be more patient with refugee, because that's not our language, and we try so hard to do a lot of this stuff, or spend, like, if American people take like to write essay an hour, probably with us take a day or 4 hours or 5 hours. So that's a big difference. So when you like work full-time job or more than full-time job, support your family, and you have like 4 classes, and you have to do like I have to spend like every week only one day to do homework for math or English or however. And when you send your teacher your situation, and he like, oh, you have to be more attention, be more patient with me, understand, you have to understand refugee people is not American people. We are not the same level. We try to be the same level. We're working hard, but we're still learning.
I think for me, I had good experience with faculties at UG State. When I first got here, I was having trouble with chemistry. Like I didn't know anything about chemistry, and one of the things that I suggest is that, you know, when you are teaching, I went to him after class, and he assumed that I already know the basics. He was trying to teach me how to do stuff, and I didn't even know the basics, and he just moved on because he made the assumption that I already know the basic. So I would just say, like, don't assume, you know, like, go from basic to higher.
Yeah, I think me too. I have a good experience with the faculty, like my teacher of English. Sometimes when I'm working and the due date of assignment is passed, I try to talk to him and say, look, I was late to submit my my assignment. They said, okay, no problem, Watema, go ahead and submit it.
So what I'm
Seems
gonna say
all
too,
kind of related.
like what some teacher told you, oh, it's not that hard, or you have to be like focus more or be more attention, or everything it was clear. I'm gonna say, put yourself in the same situation. If you are in back home in Middle East and you learn Arabic, you will be that's like the same Arab people? Of course not. You will learn, yeah, you will learn, probably you're gonna spend more than 4 years or 5 years to just communicate with people. So however if I reach to this level, so I'm trying so hard. I just asking them to be patient and try to help us to fix our mistakes, not like, oh, that's clear and you have to do it, that's clear. Don't compare us between the people here. So it's such a big difference, actually.
Yeah, thank you, Khawla. Such an important message around patience, and kind of related to some of your other comments, others of you who spoke just about, you know, things taking a little bit longer when English isn't your primary language, and or you're new to the United States and new to our academic system, that things take longer in combination with all of the kind of additional responsibilities that you spoke to, Khawla, around like family responsibilities and, you know, juggling so much. And so I think probably your other comment about patience is the underlying common thread across a lot of these comments. Yeah, so it's a good lesson for all of us. Just want to open it up now to any of our audience members. If there are any additional questions, you know, feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or you can put them in the chat. Maybe while others are maybe thinking about a question they might like to ask, I'm going to ask one other question that will show you my kind of where my head's at right now, since it's lunchtime and I'm hungry. I'm interested in food. Tell me, you know, share with us, if you're willing, a favorite food from your native country, and then perhaps a food that you've had since being in the United States that's like kind of characteristically American that maybe you like or that you find strange or interesting in some way. Just want to have maybe finish our last few minutes talking about food.
My favorite food is dolma. It's grape leaves, and it has for me, it has to have raisins inside, a ton of them, and you put rice and ground beef in there, and it's spiced, and you can eat it hot, you can eat it cold. The proper way to cook it is to cook steak right underneath it, and then stack the dolma on top, and then put it all in a plate. And I think a characteristically American food that we also like to enjoy was bologna. Just a bologna sandwich. You know, the food stamps ran out a month before, and you know you don't have anything to eat, so just fry a little bologna, get a piece of bread, maybe some mayo, and you're good to go.
I like it. Others?
My favorite food is tips. It's just like regular.
Tell them what that is.
Tips is like steak, but you eat it with bread, which is called injera. It's simple, but it's my favorite food.
And you can get it in Clarkson.
Yeah, you can get it in Clarkson, Decatur. In America, they have like Ethiopian restaurants you can go. It's one of the main dishes. In America, I like hot wings. Yeah, hot wings, that's my favorite food.
So for me, actually, I like everything in rice. So my favorite dish is it's mandi. It's rice and this the roasted marinade chicken. You put it in oven and it's smoked also. It's so tasty actually. So my best food here in America, fried chicken. Everything in chicken in America is good. So that's my best food actually. However, I can eat everything.
I think my best food, we used to eat like fufu with it, fish. So I don't know, guys, you know, fufu. Fufu is the one food you can eat. You give more a lot of energy. And people in our work, they ask you guys, you're too much energy. How can you get? I eat the fufu. So and then my favorite food in the US, I like salmon and broccoli.
He's so healthy. It's ridiculous. He's so healthy.
Yeah, salmon and broccoli. Yeah.
He won't eat any junk food. He always eats fruit and vegetables and fish.
Now I'm very hungry. I'm even hungrier now before. I'm thinking about chicken wings now, actually. Thank you guys so much. So we're about at the top of the hour. So I just want to close with our appreciation to the four of you for joining us today. This was really interesting glimpse into your experiences. We just got a taste of it and appreciate your time. And if there are any other questions or comments that anyone would like to pass along, feel free to share them with us, and I will connect you with our speakers for today. And if there are ongoing interests in our PRC work. We encourage you to go to our website and the prc.gsu.edu and sign up for our newsletter to continue to be updated with all of our events. And we encourage you, of course, to attend our next Brown Bag Luncheon, which will be the first Thursday of April, same time at noon. So check back on our website for details about that. Thank you all so much for coming today. Appreciate it, and have a great rest of your week.